Hey, it says I'm live. Good. Streamer stop streaming. View on watch page. Here we go. It says we are good to go. Shouldn't be test. My channel. Live now. There we go. We are good to go. Alright. So there's that. Share. Control C. Control V. Start streaming. Okay. So there's all of that. I won't have Google Hangouts going for me at the moment just because I cannot get it to work even if I try. But we are situated for the most part. So there's a plus. Yeah, it looks like we're decently good to go. Not perfect, but that's really the best I can do until I can figure out this Hangout stuff, because I tried to get it to work and it didn't want to work, basically. So, yeah. Sub alert. Run this. And then we should be ready to go, I would think. Oh, that broke everything. Do 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 do. Okay. What happened here? Launch. Don't tell me I have to go through all this again. No, I think we are good. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, this is the first tutorial on how to do the things, and everything should be good to go now. Alright, so this is my desktop. The programs that I have for us to work with are MakeHuman, GIMP, Blender, UDK, which is the Epic Games software icon there. I also have it in the apps folder here. And those are going to be our main ones that we use. We might use a couple of other programs. So to start, we have MakeHuman. So we're just going to hop into that. I've put in all the download links down below. If you just want to copy them over, and should be good to go. So this is MakeHuman. These are anatomically correct models, basically with the rigging all done for you, and it is completely open source. So if you want to make human models, you want to make arms that you can move and manipulate and change, then this is the program that you're going to want to use. So we're going to let this load up. Now this is MakeHuman. You gotta maintain a bit of professionalism, because yes, these are anatomically correct characters. What I like to do first and foremost is change the age to about there. For males, we can make them really masculine, and then you add the weight to make them even more masculine. Like so. Simple enough. And then this is just an overview. We will get into more detailed things the further on into the game development stages later on, but right now this is just the basics for how things work. You can go through all of these tabs here to find your absolute basically just what you want to make. If you want to make a really, really fat guy, you can change the torso so that it goes out. So, depth. Think. And you can make the V shape really, really awkward. And you can change a lot of different things with this, which is basically why I like this program so much. You can also change the skin tone from this very first tab labeled main, which I don't really care too much to change because under materials it has everything all situated. Like you can make it cartoony, you can make it realistic, all of that. You can change the poses or the muscles structure so that it's just really simple, or you can go as complex as changing each and every individual muscle with that one. Okay? And that's pretty much it. And then you're just going to want to import and export with that. However, we're not going to start with all of this because this is a more advanced portion of mesh editing. So we're going to exit this application. Going to check out GIMP now. GIMP's going to be the main textures and materials portion of what we're designing. It's mainly for making meshes have texture to them, have color, making them look more realistic than just a few polygons, and just simply it's to make things look better. So, there's that. Now this is GIMP. I have downloaded a plugin for the colors. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it is. No, we won't even be using the plugin, actually, because I found an easier way to do it. But we are going to open up a random image that I have. And in order to work with UDK, I save them as TGA files. In order to work with Blender, though, you gotta save it as a PNG. So there's that. I go into my desktop, my game, and textures, and this is going to be the base texture that we have, right? This is just a general gravel one that I took a picture outside actually, and now in order to make all of the different maps, because there's the base map, the normal map, or the bump map, and then there is the specular map. The specular map is something, it's basically for the lighting. It shows where light can hit, where light can't hit. So in order to make a bump map or normal map, we want to change, not that one, that's the wrong thing. We want to do color balance, put this to 1 and this to 1, I believe. Okay, and then this and this. I don't remember how to do this. I just did this not too long ago. Here, we'll just go with a quick specular map then. So we're gonna turn that up, or is it the opposite? I think it's the opposite, yeah. Contrast, we want to, for some reason my mouse doesn't want to work properly either. I don't know exactly why things don't want to work for me. So, with gravel textures, you typically want it to be something like that, where the really, really black spots are where light won't shine. So that's typically what we're going to do. Again, we're going to get more into this later on. Now we're going to go to hue saturation. No. You know what? We are not going to do this, but this is the editing software I'm going to use. It's a lot like Photoshop, basically. So, simple enough. Do I want to try an alternative server? Okay. Okay, the meat and potatoes of everything that we are doing, and the main program that I will be using, and the one that I know the most about, honestly, is Blender. And this is going to be our mesh editing software. This right here is the object mode. We cannot manipulate any points. We can scale with S, and if you can see that there, it has a little icon for what buttons I press. I figured that would be helpful for all of you, so that you can learn the shortcuts and stuff like that. So, scale is S, simple enough. X is to delete it. You see how this little circle with a crosshair in it moves about? That's where the object is going to be placed when we do Shift A to add. And that can be centered to 0, 0 by Shift and C. And that centers everything, resets the camera, and makes everything good. Okay, so we're going to hit delete, and we're going to do Shift A. I'm going to do a mesh, and I think we are going to want to start with a circle. Just simple enough. The very first thing I want to do today is I want to create a mesh with you guys, and that's been my primary thing I've been wanting to do for our first stream. I hit the numpad 3 and then numpad 5 to make it orthographic view, I believe. Yes, it's orthographic view, so basically you can see the direct right side of our mesh. Okay, so if you hit tab, you'll go into edit mode. You can also do that from just selecting that and grabbing the edit mode. And then this is the way that I typically make meshes. You just extrude with an E, and then I like to go on the Z axis, so I press Z and extrude on the Z, and extrude on the Z. Now what I'm going to be making here is a wine bottle. And there is a specific reason for making this wine bottle, which we will get into at some point. We are going to fill with F so that the bottom here is filled in, just nice and simple. And then I want to do Control and R. Right. Oh, sorry. We want to extrude and then right click. That way it stays at 0, 0. We're going to scale it in. And you don't have to specify what axis you want to scale it in at. And then we're going to do the same thing, extrude, right click, scale in, extrude, right click, scale in, and extrude, right click, scale in. And this is to make the very first portion of our mesh, which is going to be the bottom end of the bottle. Okay? Now, I like to use the shortcuts for pretty much everything. So G is grab, and this is proportional editing. So I typically like to use connected proportional editing, and when you do that, it goes up. And I had a loud ding in my ear. Hold on. Hey there, Chris. I finally got things figured out, kind of. I haven't quite figured out the whole Hangouts thing, so after the stream, if we can work on that together and figure out how that can be set up, I would appreciate it, because I kind of got a little bit frustrated with it, to be honest. So, anyways, I'm going to hit the Z button. Yeah, that's what I decided to do. I like the idea of using Hangouts to talk. Do you want to hop into a Skype call? So that we can chat about that? Anyways, so back to proportional editing. Yeah, I understand. We are going to grab it on the Z axis. Oh, gotta go back here. We want to go to face select, and that selects that face. And again, Z just puts it into wireframe mode so that we can see everything. I hit numpad 3, and we are going to grab on the Z. And I'm using the scroll wheel to scroll it in and out. I don't mind hopping on a Skype call, since I don't have Hangouts figured out just yet. If you would like to talk and put your input in on what I'm doing. But that's completely up to you. Alright, so back to what we were doing. We're going to grab on the Z a little bit more. And now I want to do Control R, and that's the loop, cut, and slide. So this goes all the way around the mesh. It's one of the most common things I use. And I'm going to make this loop, cut, and slide right there. Okay. Then I will send you a call real quick then. Hi there, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going a lot better now that I've got the stream working.
Yes, I understand that frustration, trust me, intimately. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you sticking with it.
Well, I appreciate the help that the other streamers have given too, because it's been a little frustrating with the Hangouts. I've never used the program before, so that's the main reason that I was having issues.
Right, yeah, Google doesn't make it particularly easy to get set up and streaming quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it looks like everything's working out pretty well here.
Yeah, for the most part. Um,
Cool.
can't complain.
Cool,
Uh,
cool. And thanks for filling out your profile. It looks really good.
yeah, well, I'd rather people know exactly what I'm doing because I'm kind of a bit sporadic when I'm doing
Uh-huh.
this stuff. So, oh, I'm getting all sorts of dings.
Yes. That's weird. How did those dings show up and I didn't see them show up here?
I don't know.
Are you getting comments that are showing up?
I had another stream open
Oh, okay, that would be why.
when I was talking to Gene.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else I can help with this
No, not
time?
really. I'm just doing the first tutorial of how the programs are working on, or how to use the programs for the people who've never even seen Blender.
Okay.
So, uh,
Cool.
and this first thing is going to be our first game asset of a wine bottle. So,
Okay.
fun stuff.
Super, super cool. Very cool. All
Alrighty.
right. Is that what you're kind of planning on doing? Is kind of more tutorial-oriented streams, or
Yeah, that's what I was thinking would be the best format.
Okay, cool. Well, feel free to play with your format, and
Mm-hmm.
if you're like doing a special stream or something like that that you really want to get users for, or viewers at,
Mm-hmm.
um, let me know because we want to help people kind of promote their streams and get it out to a wider audience. So,
Okay.
um, we're slowly building up our social media profiles. So, always happy to promote people. There's no guarantee, obviously, that people will actually show up when
Yeah.
we post something, but always happy to help people and to kind of just promote like unique and interesting streams that are happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that.
Cool.
Okay. Well, thanks for
Okay.
hopping on the call.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I'll let you get back to work here and take a look at this wine bottle
yeah.
development.
Okay.
All
So,
right. I'll talk to you later.
okay, take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Alrighty. Now we are back to it. We're gonna do Control R again. Again, that's the loop, cut, and slide. And this is probably the most effective tool I've ever used on this program. It just makes things a lot easier. If we go into uh, normal mode instead of wireframe mode, you can see that we made a sort of dome-like shape for the center here. And that's specifically what I want for this, because this wine bottle is not just going to be a wine bottle, it's going to be a light source for the game. So, but the first part of this wine bottle is to make it look like a wine bottle. Simple enough. So, we are going to get this, and we're still in proportional editing mode, so that makes things a little bit easier for us to scale that in. Just like so, and I actually want to grab it on the Z and lower it down just a bit. And then we're going to extrude on the Z. And hopefully my little notification thing for what buttons I'm pressing helps. I'm not entirely sure though. And it looks like Skype has broken. So let's close that. Huh. Alrighty. And then what I want to do here again is another loop cut and slide, just one single one. And then I'm going to do Shift, Alt, and click to select the entire ring around here. And then we are going to scale that on the opposite of Z, so that's Shift and Z. And scale that down to a reasonable size. And that does not look reasonable at all. So let's go ahead and scale it up to... I'm just doing this kind of... I forgot what I was saying. If you couldn't tell, I'm slightly a bit nervous. Not really used to talking this much. But I do want to provide more of a tutorial aspect to this, just because it's a new format and it'll help in the long run for some people who want to learn how to do these kinds of things and learn how to make a game. So I'm going to extrude instead of just grabbing it on the Z-axis, because I want to be able to possibly break it off here to change the lighting effects and stuff like that. So this is more for later down the line. We'll be able to do that. We're going to do one more extrusion right there. Bring it out and see how close to the top of the neck we are. I think we're going to grab it on the Z. And that should be good. And then one more time, we are going to extrude and then right click. We're going to turn off proportional editing. And then scale it on the opposite of Z. And pull it up just a bit. Extrude on the Z. Extrude, right click, scale on the opposite of Z, and then grab on the Z. And that makes the head of our bottle. Fairly simple. Makes it pretty easy here. And then we're going to extrude one more time, scale it in, bring it down. And then extrude, scale it in, and then grab on the Z. Oh, sorry, extrude on the Z. And bring this all the way down through the neck. And we kind of want to mirror how this looks. So on the inside of the bottle, we're going to repeat the same exact process that we had, just from the top down and a few millimeters inside, so that we get a nice layer for our mesh. So we're going to do Control R here. And we're going to do a lot of lines here, which creates a lot of vertices, which will eventually create some lag when we get the game going. So we're going to have to minimize how many vertices this has later down the line. But for right now, this will be fine, I believe. We're going to turn proportional editing back on, only to connected, because this is inside our mesh. And I have a cat that I have to take care of real quick, so I will go ahead and do that real quick, and I will be right back. So, just a few moments. Alrighty, guys, and we are back. Sorry about the, Actually, I'm not sorry. I kind of enjoy this nice, calming music. I had to, take care of the cat food and stuff like that, so just had to do that real quick. Oh, I did not know that I could use stream commands like that for OBS. Interesting. Alright, anyways, so we are going to get back to this. If I can stop hitting S on that, there we go, and scale. And I want to scroll this down so that we're only selecting this line here and get it to match up like so. And we're going to do the same thing for each and every line in the center here. Maybe we select the right line. And scale that out to about right there. We don't have to be that specific or that detailed on this portion of it, just because this is something that won't necessarily be seen. This is more just interior preferences. I just hit the Windows button on accident. Shift, scale, oh, Alt, sorry, scale. And then I'm holding Shift to do just very, very minimal movements. So if I move the mouse like that, it's not going to change too much. If I scale this and go like that, it'll go all weird. So if I do Shift, it goes nice and slow and easy. Okay, now we're gonna do this one more time for the individual lines. Right here. Scale it out to about right there. Looks good. Now what I'm going to do is do Shift Alt for each individual line and probably scroll in to zoom in. I'm right clicking to select these lines, by the way. And we're gonna grab all of these vertices and scale them on the opposite of Z. And you see here we have this line. So we're going to scale that out as well. And we kind of want to make this a straight line, so we're going to go as far in as we can zoom. Scale on the opposite of Z. Or just scale actually, because it's the one line. And make this as straight as we can possibly visualize it. And check the other side, that's completely straight as well. And now we want to match this point to this point. So we're going to do the selection of all of these vertices as well. And I think that's all of them. I believe so. And scale on the opposite of Z. And make this as straight of a line as we possibly can. I think we are good to go there. Oh, no. That looks good. And sometimes it will misclick and or it'll say that you've clicked it but you haven't. That's just a problem with Blender, which you can't get mad at because it's a free program after all. Or you can, but won't really do you much good. So. Okay. And I'm holding shift and middle mouse button to pan around, by the way. I don't know if I explained that yet. And then we're going to extrude on the Z all the way down to the bottom here. And I'm actually going to split the screen so that I can get a top view. So that's this little icon here whenever it shows up as a crosshair. And then I'm going to switch this to top view. Actually, Control 7, numpad 7. And we're actually going to turn off this and turn on that one. So we can vaguely see where these lines meet up. Okay. I actually probably would like to see it from this angle, now that I think about it. We're gonna bring this down and extrude, scale on the opposite of Z. Oh, and we want to turn proportional editing off for this part. Scale on the opposite of Z. And bring that to about the same amount that we have on this line here. And scale on the opposite of Z. We're actually gonna just do it like so. And then Control R to those right there. And we're gonna hopefully select the right one. Good. Turn proportional editing on for connected and scale out. Do the same for this one. Bring it in. And then F to fill it. So now, if we look inside, we have a hollow case for our bottle. And it kind of domes in, so that's exactly how we want it. Now, what I want to do is go from the bottom here. We're going to select Face Select, and then we're going to delete this one. Control Z, delete Faces, and delete Faces. Then we're going to go to Line Select and select these two lines. We're going to fill them. And now what we can do, this is a really quick and easy shortcut and helps tremendously, is go all the way around by holding F. That only works for most circles or most squares that both of the sides are exactly the same. So that's what we did here. Okay. With all of this done, I want to select all of this circle. We're going to go extrude on the Z, put that there. Now, before I started this project here, I said that we are going to be making a light source. This is my main way of doing a light source, we're going to take a picture of a light bulb. So we're going to actually hop into Google Chrome. Well, Google. We're going to do a Google image search of light bulb. Oh, light bulb. And we are going to go to images. And I would say that would be our main image for light bulb. So we're going to save the image. And I like to put it all together in one folder. You can designate your own folders set up, but I like to do it as references for most of my stuff. These are other items that I've already made on stream for my Twitch channel. And this is going to be our light bulb. And I think we can close that out. Probably shouldn't have put the sleep track I listen to go to sleep on. Let's go ahead and find something a little bit more upbeat. How about some progressive music? Now this is copyrighted music, so perhaps we don't use this, actually, because that might be bad for YouTube's, at least. How about... Actually, we don't really need music, honestly. We should be fine. I think we're fine. Okay, we're gonna hop back into Blender now. And what I want to do is go into Numpad 3. We're actually going to merge these two together, so it becomes one screen, and again, that's just using this little icon here. We are going to click the thing below it that's a little plus sign, and we don't need to see all of this really. 2D cursor, item, shading, motion tracking, mesh display, mesh analysis, background image is what we want. Add an image and open. Under my game, under references, we have lightbulb.jpg, and we're going to make the opacity just a little bit lighter. I'm going to bring this to the front, and then I believe this is our scale. No. 0. Which one's our scale? There we go. So we want to scale this way, way down. I actually want to see where this goes. And then we want to bring it up and scale it up to where this ring fits inside of here almost perfectly. Hmm. 0.15. That looks to be pretty good, I would say. If we scale that up, okay. And that would be our image that we are looking at. Like so. We're just going to follow the shape of the bulb. So what we're going to do is go out of edit mode, go to object mode, and then we just want it from this view, right? So we just go from the right, and now if we switch to a different view, it won't bother us, which is good. Now we're going to go to the top view, Shift C real quick. That's directly in the center. Okay. And we're going to do a mesh of a circle again. And Control 7 to get the bottom view. And we're going to scale that all the way in to where it's the same as the line we have above. And then we're going to bring this up to the start of our bulb. So grab on the Z. Okay. And now we're going to go into edit mode. And I want to extrude it and then scale in without proportional editing, so that this line matches up with this portion of it. So if we go into Z, we're gonna scale on the opposite of Z again. So if we bring this up, that's still a little too big. Let's scale it in just a bit more. And extrude on the Z. And extrude on the Z. And extrude on the Z. This one we're going to scale in till it about matches there. Gonna Alt select that one, scale it down so that it's fairly flat, and then we're going to do Control R and split it 3 times. And scale this part in, and scale this part in. And it kind of looks like our image is a bit offset, which is fine. I don't think it's really gonna cause too much strife for us, so. And scale this part in. So now we are going to actually go into object mode. We're going to hit M to move this and move it to layer 2. That way we can only see the bulb now. I figured that would be a bit better for us to visualize what's going on here. So, tab. This is all good. Extrude on the Z to right there, scale it in to right there, and extrude on the Z to right there. And that's the interior of our light. In order to do these, we're going to use a plane, so we're going to wait to do that. I think, actually, you know what? Control R. We're going to loop, cut, and slide this. And bring that way out. scale right there. That should be good. And then we're gonna decide where we want our faces. Extrude on the Z to right there. And those should be directly opposite of each other, and they're not. So Control Z, Control Z. Directly opposite would be that one there. There we go. And extrude on the Z again. Okay. Go back to 3. Scale these out. Extrude on the Z. Scale them on the opposite of Z. So they go out to about there. And honestly, I think that we should probably just drop them down. And then Control R right there. And Control R right there. I'm gonna do Alt Shift, line select, and scale these on the opposite of Z so that these bend in. And I'm loosely going off of the image now because it does seem like one side is not the same as the other. And that's just not going to work out for us very well if we do it that way. Now what I want to do is fill that in and Control R. Control R. Oh, can I not split that? Why can't I split that? Alright, well we're gonna go to face select then. Select this and select this. Extrude on the Z. And select that face, delete it. Select that face and delete it. And then we will select this line here, scroll out and then back in so that we can see what we're doing here, and fill. Then I'm going to select this line and fill, fill, and fill. Now we can use Control R. I think we'll do it that way. And then I want to use the proportional editing again. Select this line here and grab on the Z. And 3. That looks to be all right. We're going to turn proportional editing off. You can do that quickly with the shortcut O. I just keep forgetting to use it. And then we're going to grab these on the Z to make it like so. And then we're going to do Control R there and Control R there. And Alt Shift Alt click. Scale on the opposite of Z, actually scale on the Y, right? Okay, and then Control Z, I don't know what happened there, Control R, oh that's Shift R, that's what happened there. And Control R again. I'm gonna go into face select now. Select that one and select that one. And extrude on the Z. Go back into our view here. scale on the Y, and extrude on the Z, and scale on the Y. So that makes our basic interior things. One thing I do want to do here is select all of these faces on this side individually, because if you decide, or if you want to select all of them all at once, it'll end up selecting all of these faces as well, and just kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest. And grab this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and do the same thing on this side. If we go I was clicking on the wrong button. Nope. Not what I want to click. We'll just do it by each of them. That'll be fine. And this is a very time-consuming process, making a game. It's not something that you can just do in 30 minutes, and sadly there's a few game developers out there who think that you can, which is kind of why I want to do this tutorial series, to prove that you can make a game for free. You just have to put in some time. So we want to scale on the X and make that super thin. Okay. Now what we can do is we're going to go back into line select. We're going to go extrude, scale, and I believe we're going to go into face select, delete face, face select, delete face, and then the ones directly below them, we're going to delete faces and delete faces. So that's directly below that one. Yeah. Now it kind of looks like I messed up a little bit here and scaled them a little too close, so we're going to change that and move them out a bit further. Scale on the Y to about there. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we are going to select that line and F to fill, and I want to select all three of these points so that that fills properly. And then we want to go actually into vertices select and select these 2 points, fill that. Line select, fill. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just like so. Fill. So now we have the interior of our bulb taken care of. Now to do the actual bulb itself. Now the way I like to do the extrusions here is just extrude all the way up on the Z to the first point where it scales out, and then we're going to scale it out to there. Extrude on the Z to the next point where it starts going back in, And again, it does kind of look like this is off-centered just a bit. So we're kind of playing it by ear now. And extrude on the Z to right there. Scale it down. And extrude on the Z to the top here. Now we go Control R. I'd say that would be good. Turn proportional editing connected on. And scale this down so that we're basically just selecting the line. And again, I'm holding down Shift. Scale. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I don't claim to be a professional. I'm learning this as I go, so there may be things I don't know. And I'm perfectly fine with learning how to do some of this stuff, because I am by no means a professional. Just had to get that out there. So if somebody says, oh, hey, well, you're a professional at this. No, I'm not. I'm just taking guesses, and usually it tends to work out. Sometimes it doesn't. But I just had to clarify that now before we get into a huge tutorial series and people are like, well, you could do it better. Well, sure I could. But this is the way that I do it. If you want to follow the same way that I do it, you're more than welcome to. If you want to learn from somebody else, you're more than welcome to do that too. So there we go. And we got the bottom of the bulb taken care of now. We're going to do Control R and do a few lines there. Doesn't really matter. That was weird terminology, but yeah, whatever. And scale it. And we're going to actually increase the size of this to about right there. That looks more like a good bulb shape. Okay, and Control R. Do the same thing over here. Select this middle line and scale it out. After we scroll out to make this look more like a bulb. Like so. And I'm actually thinking that we should scale this one. Disable. Get a message. Yep. And scale it out just a little bit. Right there. And grab this line and scale it out just a little bit right there. And then this line, scale it out just a little bit to right there. Bam. Now, Control R here, do a few lines, and I actually want to grab from the top here, turn on proportional editing connected, and scale it down to there, and then fill it. Okay. So, we're going to go back to layer 2, move this to layer 1 with M, And now we have a light bulb in our bottle. If we go into 3, we can actually turn this off now. And Z. We have a light bulb in our bottle. Actually kind of want to move that out. Z and tab. Face select. Go all the way around this. That way we can make a wire going to it. If I did alt click, it would probably go the opposite way that I want it to go, so I'm just doing them individually, like so. Extrude on the Z to right there. And then scale it in, sure. So now we have a light in a bottle. That is going to probably do it for our first tutorial. Did a little bit of work on this light, so worked out. I'm going to try and get Google Hangouts to work for me. There might be a few test streams in between, but I will be deleting those videos after I'm done if they don't work. So yeah, even if it does work, it's just test streams. So I think we've covered everything. There's one more program that I didn't mention that we would be using. So first we're gonna save this and then we will check that out. So file, save as, bottle. And actually while we're here in Blender, let's check out some of the things that I've been working on stream and some of the things I haven't been working on stream, but I've been doing in my own time to try and learn how things work. So, we have our first weapon in the game, which is this little pistol. Animations and stuff I want to do separately on complete different stream, but this is the mesh that we created on stream. It's just a nice little revolver. And then we have this MFR, which is a automatic rifle. And the skin for this, or the material for this, is going to be a bit battered up because the basis of the game is underground because they had to survive. So it might be bandaged up with duct tape or just cloth. I haven't quite figured all the details out for that. So there's that. And then let's go with our animation of walking. So this is our Make Human mesh that I got from the software Make Human. And if we just hit play, got a nice slow walker. And if we go to 0 from the camera perspective, I've already set this up. So this is kind of how it will be working for us. It's a little slow, surprisingly. I think that's just due to the stream, but this is the animation of walking. We might actually be able to scale this down now that I think about it. So let's scale to 0.5. Yeah, and grab on the, just grab, because I don't have to grab on an axis. I forgot. And if we change the end frame to 30, yeah, So that's the walking animation. Just kind of moves the body up and down. Just real simple. It's not my best work yet. Still have to flesh some things out. So we're gonna open up our running animation now. And if we play that, I haven't set up the arms to move or anything like that. And then we have a jumping animation here. And these are pretty much the only things I've worked on stream. I've worked on other projects, but for this game, everything that I had got deleted, so basically starting over. But yeah, here's a nice little jumping animation. And the way that UDK takes the animations, you have to do them as these little clips instead of full animations altogether, because if I want a specific animation to play using a keybind, then that's how that works. You just have to do these little clips that are loopable. So, yeah. Alrighty, we're gonna hop into UDK real quick, check that out, and then that will be the end of the stream. We streamed for 2 hours today. Holy cow. It was a bit of a rough start, but I'm pretty proud of how it turned out, so that's good. Let's just let this load up eventually. Maybe put on the burb screen. No music to enjoy, sadly. Just the sound of my sweet, succulent voice. It sounded dirtier than I wanted it to be. So, yeah. Just waiting. And launching Unreal Engine 4.10. Oh, the Game Developers Conference is coming up soon. Forgot about that. Maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. I don't know. All depends, really. Also, a lot of the API has changed on Unreal from when I first started, so I don't know too much about how things work now. It's based off of the programming language C++, but it does have a node editor, which helps a little bit. But I'm still trying to figure out how to make a procedurally generated world in UDK, so it might be a little while before we actually start working with UDK, but just wanted to let you guys know that's something I'm still gonna learn, and we might do some things on stream with it, but it might be quite a while before we do. Right now we're gonna be working on making all the assets for the game, and that could take up to 4 months to finish. So yeah. So, we're gonna do just a new project. We're gonna use blueprints, because why not? And it's basically the same general controls for the viewport for UDK as it is in Blender, except for with UDK you can actually move around and do no clipping and stuff like that, so kind of nice. Just letting it load. That's probably the slowest process of game development, is waiting for things to load. Or really doing anything on the computer. The slowest process is waiting for things to load. And for those on YouTube, I really haven't specified what exactly the game is. It's gonna... I'm trying to make every game developer's fallacy true. So I'm trying to make it to where you can play however you want to play. Being that I'm an indie developer, I don't have the constraints of I have to get it done by a certain time. I have a goal time that I want it to be done, but if we miss that goal, it's not going to be that big of a deal. What we are going to be doing for this game is making it to where anybody can play it, basically. If you like puzzle games, there's going to be a puzzle element that you can just play a puzzle game for the entire amount of time. If you like first-person shooters, that's going to be an element of the game that you can do. If you like games like Minecraft where you just dig, you can do that. If you like building things, you can do that. If you like an RTS, I haven't quite figured out how we're going to do that, but I'm sure we can figure a way to make it part of the game. There's going to be a lot of excess files if you choose to play one way and don't play any other way. There's going to be a lot of different end scripts that I'm going to put in. The dialogue system is going to be very dynamic. I have a lot of aspirations for this game, and it will take a lot of time to build it. But yeah, it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I will spend as much time as I need to do it. So, this is UDK. We are currently playing the game, and for some reason, we can fly around, which is kind of cool, I guess. Weird. I've never actually played with the startup files. But yeah. I have all of the programs we need to do the C++ program language. It's just I don't know all of the API for it. This is our basic viewport. We can import assets from Blender. Well, not exactly from Blender. I have to change the file paths and stuff in order to import them into UDK because they use a totally different format and it's kind of confusing. So we'll get into that on a different stream. But yeah, this is UDK. This is our main game engine that we're going to be using, because Blender's game engine is not really that optimized, but UDK's is pretty optimized, so it'll be able to run 120 frames per second, and that's why I chose UDK. Plus, all of these programs are free, so that helps. So, I've been JakeHB, or I am JakeHB, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it was informative. Hope it wasn't too boring. I'm going to try and get some royalty-free music for the background. Just haven't gotten that set up yet, because I haven't been streaming to YouTube for many, many years. So, yeah. Yeah. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching, and if you did, please be sure to hit that follow button or subscriber button or whatever button you feel like pressing. Again, tips are not mandatory or required, but if you want to support the stream or want to support the game, I would greatly appreciate it. So, with that, all that said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good one. Bye-bye.